It snowed. At the time that I am recording this, it is Friday, December 5th, 2025, and it snowed. I believe for the first time this year in my area, so it's pretty cool. Back then, it used to snow a lot more. I definitely have a lot more memories when it comes to the snow when I was younger. I used to really like the cold weather when I was a kid. See, it changed. When I was a kid, I liked the cold weather, but I did not like hot weather. Now, I cannot stand cold weather. I don't mind hot weather at all. Like right now in the wintertime, it's tough because when I go to sleep, I am in like 3 layers. I wear my heat tech, I wear a hoodie, sometimes I'll wear a beanie to sleep. The last few days, it's been fairly cold. With the first snowfall of this year in my area, I wanted to share a couple stories that I had related to the snow. When I was younger, I used to enjoy playing in the snow. Me, my sister, my neighbors, we would do stuff like going sledding, and I don't know what else we would do, but I used to love walking in the snow, and I used to enjoy eating snow as well. So when I was in elementary and middle school, whenever it was snowing, we would have to watch the TV to figure out if school was either canceled or if there's a delay, a 1 or 2 hour delay. So it would normally be on like the news or weather channel, and on the bottom of the screen, there will be like all the counties around me. So, there's Loudoun County, Fairfax County, other counties in Virginia, and it'll show like, okay, this county, are the schools open today? Is it closed? Is there a delay? So we would have to watch that in order to figure out if we're going to school. I was either in 6th or 7th grade. I think this happened in maybe 2010, 2011. There was a pretty big snowfall, and I think we had like a whole week off from school because it snowed that much. I think that's the most consecutive days off we've ever gotten due to the snow. In high school, there was this one guy, and if anybody who lives in Fairfax County who went to high school around from like the 2010s to 2015, I graduated in 2015, almost everybody knows of this guy named Ryan McElveen. He's a white guy who's bald. I forgot what exactly he does, but I think he still works for the Fairfax County like public school system. So he had a Twitter account, and he would tweet when school was either delayed or canceled. So instead of checking the TV, everybody would check Twitter to see if this guy tweeted. And whenever he tweeted, everybody would be so happy. Everybody called him a god. Everybody idolized him. I just thought that was a pretty fun memory, just because everybody would look forward to, seeing his posts on Twitter. In my senior year of high school, this is in January of 2015. It was snowing pretty hard that morning, but we still had to go to school. There was no cancellation, no delays. And I was on the road for, I think it was like almost 3 hours. Normally, when I drove to school, it took me about an hour to get there. The traffic in my area is pretty bad, and so I would have to take the highway to get to school and everything, so it would take me up to an hour. But because it was snowing, it took even longer. It took me like 2-3 hours. And my first class that I had that day was my government class, and I had a test that day too. So I walked into my class like 2 hours late, and everybody is taking their test. And I think I still, the teacher still gave me the same amount of time because he was understanding, some people are going to roll in late because of the snow. So I still had the same amount of time as everybody else. And I'm pretty sure I failed that test. Granted, it was my last semester of high school. And at that point, I had already gotten my acceptance letter from college. And so I already knew I was going to college. So at that point, I didn't really care about my grades or school in general. I also have a lot of memories of skiing. There has been a couple of times where we have gone to ski resorts during Christmas. The resort that we went to the most is called Seven Springs in Pennsylvania. I used to do a lot of skiing, and I tried snowboarding once, but at that point I had already done skiing. And so trying to switch over to snowboarding, I kept falling on my butt. And by midday, I went back to skis because I didn't want to take the time to learn how to snowboard when I already knew how to ski. Now, fast forward to today, I did go skiing earlier this year in Utah, and I broke my leg there. So realistically, I don't plan to ever ski or do any sort of snow activity ever again. Don't get me wrong, I still enjoy the snow, at least looking at the snow from the inside, because I don't like the cold weather, but when it's snowing outside, I think it's very pretty, and it does make me happy. So just wanted to share some stories that involve the snow.